Floss Tube friends, welcome back. It's me again. This is a bit of a bonus video. From my last video there was a couple of comments about a planner that was sitting on my desk. I did intend to do a small product review on it, of my planner, but this has sort of prompted me to speed things along. So as you all know from the past, the only system or organisation that I've ever used is a book that basically is the book that I write in just before I'm going to do one of my Floss Tube videos, just to remind myself of what I need to talk about, you know, what I did talk about, what the Floss Tube name is, those sorts of things. But never ever had a planner where, you know, I've got real trackable stuff in it. As far as sort of tracking whips, progress, finishes, starts, the only thing I've ever used is the X-Stitch app Pro on my phone. To be honest, I use that more to track my threads and to track my fabrics. It does track my whips, but you know, whenever I say, oh, you know, I finished that in, and then I have to sit there and go through the phone, and it's not easy to necessarily get to the information quickly, which was a bit of a bugbear for me anyway. So in 2019, I decided that, or the beginning of 2019, I decided I was going to have a planner. I was going to have something, because I want to be able to track things, but I want something that's quick and easy to get to. Now, here is my planner. Now, I'm not creative enough like some of you lovely ladies and gentlemen out there to actually make one from start to finish myself. And I know a lot of you do bullet journaling. I've just never been very good at stuff like that. So I purchased this. So here it is. This is my planner. This is the Happy Planner, and it's by Me and My Big Ideas. It comes with your obvious calendars and planny type stuff. But the lovely Shazie C was nice enough to gift me the PDF printable journal. I'm going to fire down in a minute and show you how it looks. And I have to say that now that we're almost at the end of January, and I've been using it since, I don't know, just after Christmas, it does make me wonder what I did before I had it, because I'm actually finding it super helpful and super useful. So it's Shazie C cross stitch PDF printable journal. That's really the main bit that I'm actually using in this. I do use the calendar section, which we'll flip through in a minute, but we're going to do a quick flip through. There are so many pages, so many useful bits and pieces in the Shazie C PDF downloads, and we will run through all that shortly. But obviously, because the question was asked, is that a planner on your desk, and am I using one? Yes, I am. Here it is. And let's have a little flip through and do a bit of a product review on Shazie C's printable PDF journal. Hi all, so before I actually showed you my planner, I wanted to basically give you a quick overview of all the pages, because I've not got all of the pages printed. And the easiest way for me to show you what you're going to get is by showing you on the laptop. So as you can see on the screen, this is the sizes of the planners that you can select. So when you place your order on the Facebook group, you just need to let Shazie C know which size you want. So for ease, I've actually put this on the screen for you so that you can jot it all down. So obviously you've got your A4, you've got A5, you've got letter size, and you've got the one that I've got, which is the classic Happy Planner. But that's only because I've got a Happy Planner. So for those that don't want to complicate it and just want to be able to print it straight out onto your printer without having to do anything like cut down the paper or get a different size paper, you could go with the A4. So, and again, you can buy A5 paper and you can buy letter paper. Classic happy paper, however, is a little bit more difficult to come by. So unless you've got a way of cutting the paper down, in which case it's fine. But if not, then, you know, the A4, A5 and letter size are all standard size papers that you can actually purchase from almost anywhere. So that's the sizes. And then if we head on over, so you get sort of different bundles. So you can get sort of a starter bundle, and then there's extras. And currently at the moment she's doing a bit of a deal, from what I can gather. So new prices for 2019. If you buy the cross stitch journal and get the listed special pack free for £10, which will include the 2019 stitching logs, which I'll show you in a moment, I'll go through the main bundle of what you get just for your £10 in general anyway to start with. So this is what we're looking at now, is your main bundle. This is what you would get as automatic anyway. So you get a cover sheet to put at the front. You get a charts and kits stash pages. You get a challenge record sheets for those that like to do challenges. You get a daily record sheet so that you can track your total number of stitches or your daily stitch count. You get your hourly stitch record, so if you want to stitch how many hours you've stitched. You get the dividers. So the dividers, obviously, you've got stitching, you've got plans, you've got wish lists, you've got calendars, you've got shopping lists, you've got whips, you've got floss tube, to-dos, to be fully finished, daily, checklists, sales, and a blank one. You get DMC checklist for those that want to make, those that use that facility. You've got fabric stash list. You've got floss tube videos, so for those that do floss tube. You've got monthly tracker, so you can track your whips. You've got needle minder stash to remind yourself where you purchased them from. You've got project shopping list, so if you've got a project that you need to order the stuff and you like to keep track of that. You've got a sales list for those that do the sales. You've got a stitching record. You've got things to be framed, a whips page, and a wish list page. As well as that, you get, for those that like to stitch out of magazines, you've got a charts in magazines. You've got Stitchy Friends directory. You have got Etsy orders. You've got Etsy sales. These are more for people that have an Etsy store. You've got fully finished projects. You've got graph paper or grid paper. You've got PayPal receipts tracker. You've got project bags, so it sort of says what the project bag is, what whips inside it, and what notions are included. You've got your purchases. I like this one a lot. You've got your thread locator, so if you share threads across projects, you can remember where, what project it went from and where it's gone to. You've got a useful strands of floss per count and a centimetre to inches. You've got a year at a glance. I think that is... So that's all part of the main bundle, I believe. I mean, when you go on there, it will tell you what you get in the main bundle anyway. There's some conversion pages. So these ones are in the bundle as well. So this is dimensions to DMC conversions for those that do dimension kits. And then there's a Krennic to petite treasure braid conversion page. Again, that's another great one that I like. We've got checklists. So you've got a checklist for the Karen collection. You've got a classic Colourworks checklist. You've got a DMC floss collection list. You've got a Gentle Art sampler threads. You've got petite treasure braids. You've got Threadworks checklist. You have got a Wheat Dye Works checklist. And then you've got a divider for a 100-day challenge. So for those that do the 100-day challenge. I mean, that's a lot of stuff that you get. A lot of stuff. On top of that, there are extra pages that she does, which I think you pay for. I won't go through those, but it's things like a Grime Guard stash page, Victoria Motto sampler checklist, Victoria Motto to DMC conversion. These are all requestable at a fee. DMT, colour and cotton checklist, anchor checklist, stock list page, customer order page. They're all separate and are all purchasable at a separate. But when I say they're purchasable for a separate amount, we're talking a couple of quid or a quid, or pounds. Sorry, you're not talking sort of pounds and pounds. So it's well, in my opinion, this is like super affordable and made it just so easy. So that was just to give you a quick overview of some of the stuff that you'll get in your starter bundle. And like I say, there's currently a deal on at the moment, but in the video and in the box at the bottom, I will put the link to the Facebook group that you would need to join to be able to make a purchase. But like I say, it's PDF only, it's downloadable, it's not refundable, but these are the sorts of things that you'll get in the main bundle for your money. If you want extras, it's all self-explanatory on the Facebook page. So now I'm going to head on over to my planner so that I can show you some of the bits that I've put in, which isn't all of it as yet, but for now I've got started with the pages that really are going to help, were going to help me, and then I'll add to those as and when I think I'm likely to use them. So okay, so here we are with my happy planner. This is a classic happy planner that was purchased. So it's got the little rings on it that holds it all together. It's got the plastic cover, and the actual planner itself that was purchased comes with these pages. So it's basically what I would call as your normal planner. So there you go. It comes with sort of I think it's an 18 month planner. Obviously it's got all your months in it. The bit that I like about this is it's got as you can see, it comes with the month tabs, at the beginning of each section. It's got information on the left hand side, some notes, important dates, birthdays, and then each section has got like a nice little message. The best is yet to come. I mean, as far as a planner goes, I'm assuming that this is pretty generic and bog standard. Oh, so lovely. But to be honest, that isn't the bit that I use. So obviously this video is about me using a planner, but in actual fact, this planner is about using the Shazie C PDF printable journal pages, which is basically what I put at the front of my planner. So it all comes out like I showed you just now the sorts of documents, the sort of PDFs that she actually provides. They're all really, really good. I'm finding them really, really useful. I've done mine slightly different. So rather than just having a plain book, I didn't want it to be plain. So all of these obviously are printed either on white paper. I chose not to print my dividers on plain paper. I chose like a printed paper, and basically just stuck that in the printer and it printed that out. And then I've stuck mine onto some cardstock and used that as my dividers. I also went online and purchased these little tabs which you attach yourself and then you just write on. So I'm pretty sure that for those that are quite crafty and do planners and bullet journals, this probably looks like a really boring planner to you, but for me it does the purpose. It's something that I'm fairly new at, so I will play with it and work with it as I go along. But I've done that for each of the dividers. I haven't printed off every divider and used everything because I don't think everything's current for everybody, and that's what I liked about the fact that with Shazie C's printable journal pages, you can print the bits you want and then not print the bits that you don't want. So obviously that's how I've done my dividers. The pages, I have got white pages in here, such as here, but I thought that was a bit boring. I didn't like it being white. So all I did was, I didn't have any paper that had patterns on it, so I basically found some background images on Google that I liked, printed it as a full page on A4, and then put it back through the printer to print out the PDF of each of the templates that's been made, just so that it wasn't pure white. But I mean, obviously, like I say, there's things that work for me and there's things that don't work for me. Obviously, the floss tube one definitely works for me. You know, it gives you the option to put the floss tube name, the date you've uploaded, the date you filmed, any keynotes, any additional notes to yourself. Love that. My whips, as you can see, I've done some lame, very lame decorating of this book. Again, I've done the same thing with the whips pages. I've just basically used my printer to print a pattern onto the paper and then run it back through again, so that I could have something that was a bit flashier rather than just a white paper. So again, this one, really, really useful. It's my whips page, shows me all my whips that are current, shows me my start dates and shows me my finish dates. Love this one, the calendars. So the calendars, or the monthly tracker, is great. This is the one that sort of like is a bit of a deal breaker now for me. So again, I've done exactly the same thing with the paper. On one side, it's 1 to 17 days of the month, and then on the other side, it's 18 to 20 to 31. It's generic so that you can write your own months in. And what this does is it allows for me to track how many days of the month I actually work on a project, which I've actually found is really quite surprising. So that's been like super, super helpful. So again, that's what it looks like in a white page, but I like mine in a bit more colour. So love that one. What else have we got? I've printed out the year at a glance here. As you can see, there's nothing in it yet, but we're not even at the end of January, so there won't be. Stash, for me, again, was another good one. Again, I've just got a background on the paper. You know that I have the Threads of the Month Club, the silks from Trisha at 3 Hour Threads, and the ones that I get is actually part of the Karen collection, and it's the water lilies. This is great because on the other tracker you can't see at a glance what you've got, whereas here this covers the, I think it's water flower, is it? The water lilies and another one. So if you've got like a big selection of them, you can just see at a glance what you've got. So I've been tracking all of my threads through this for my specialty threads. My DMCs, like I say, my DMCs and my fabric and the whips I will still track on my phone, but they're more for like long-term use. They're not something that I can just grab and quickly look at quickly. This is something that I can just quickly scan if I wanted to. So obviously that's my Karen collection threads. It's got the petite treasure braid option, which again I've got petite treasure braids. I have put the fabric stash list at the back. This one was quite good because it's got the fabric name, the fabric type, the count, size, the colour, and then if you've worked on a certain whip, you can actually put on which whip you've actually you've used for that fabric, which you can't do on the X-Stitch app on my phone. Plans. This is fairly new. I printed it on white and just put some washi tape on it, but basically she does a January to December of 2019, so obviously it's your stitching priorities for the month, your projects to work on, your shopping list, your sales to remember. That's not very relevant for me, so I'll find something else to put in there. It's got the months, or the month as a whole, Monday to Sunday, and then obviously you've got a Monday to Sunday notes page. So love that. Shopping list. I love the shopping list. The shopping list is fabulous. I have filled out a shopping list, but I've only printed the coloured pages. So before that it was all on the white pages. What I liked about this is it's got the option for you to put in the purchase date, the seller's name, the email that you might need, the items that you purchased with the prices, a total price that you paid, and then a receive date. So I can always check when I ordered something, when I've received it, and if I ever then need to reorder something, or I can't remember where I got it from, I've got a log of it. And that's a bit of a bugbear for me, because I always think, you know, when someone asks me a question sort of like months and months and months after an event, and you sort of, they say, oh, you showed so-and-so, can you remember where you got it from? And it's like, well, actually, no, I can't remember where I got it from. And then you have to sort of trawl through websites that you think you might have gone on to have ordered them. So obviously this is the printed pages, that's the white pages. I love that. I think it's a really, really good idea and great for me to keep track of where I've got stuff from if I ever need to reorder or I get asked where I got something from. Wish list. There is a wish list in here and a coloured version. I just haven't put anything in it yet. Again, really, really good for as and when I see things that I like and then I forget myself and go buy something completely different. The next one that I've got is the checklists in here. Super, super helpful. So this is the closest matches to the discontinued DMCs and what it replaced with. Also, it's got the occasional discontinued colours all together. Again, really, really helpful. It's got the DMC metallic thread new shade numbers. It's got the strands of floss per count. So that's the strands of floss, that's your count. Centimetres to inches conversion. Again, it's a good little thing to have in there so that you can remember. This one is a bit of a deal breaker for me. I'm not a great lover of krennic and do love the treasure braid. This is a conversion which basically converts the krennic colours to the petite treasure braid in both the sizes 8, 12 and 16, and it gives you the conversion. Super, super helpful. Love it. And then finally for me, I've just put in there one for my final finishes. Again, it's got your project name, your start date, your finish date, and then what you did with it. Because over a course of time, you forget that sort of information. So there you go. That is the quick flip through of my little planner. It's only got that much in it so far because so far that's all I felt that I've needed. But that's not to say that I won't fill it up with more stuff. Some of the other pages that Shazie C does are relevant to me, will be relevant maybe one day or going forwards, but for now I just wanted to put as much in there as I could to get going. So this is all the things that I considered at the end of 2018 that I would I would definitely need. And then as and when things pop up or crop up, then obviously I can add more stuff to it if I need to. As far as the actual planner itself, like the purchased planner, because I'm not creative enough to make my own. As far as this, am I using it? Not amazingly, if I'm honest. But then I work from Google and I work from my family calendar on the iPhone, so that basically tracks everything. This is, I suppose this is if you don't work electronically. I think I'll leave this in here over the next, say, 3 months, see how much use this actually gets or whether I use it. If I don't use this, I'll just take this section out and I will just work with my Shazie C documents and PDFs and have it as a journal or basically a stitching journal. And you never know. I mean, as time goes on, I might become a little bit more creative with the whole, you know, and make my own front cover and, you know, do some... I mean, I don't actually like these. This was just because that was the only bit of paper that I had and the cardstock. So I tried to sort of match the colours, but it's not to my taste. But then I didn't have what I wanted to hand to sort of make it look super pretty. So eventually I'll probably make some sort of floral design on there and put it on some cardstock that's more in keeping with the sorts of colours that I like and make it a bit more pink or cream and, you know, off-whites and peaches. But for now it does the job and I'm quite chuffed with it. And you know when you get these things and you think, oh, it's just going to be one of those 5-minute wonders, it seems like a good idea at the time, but it seems like a whole lot of hassle. Once you've actually got it printed out and you've got it all put in there, I mean, I have this down in my little stitching basket next to me, so that every night when I come home from work and I do a spot of stitching, I go to my calendar, I mark off what I've stitched on the train, I mark off what I stitched that night. If I'm watching FlossTube whilst I'm stitching and something comes up where someone's talked about something and I want to remember, I go to my FlossTuber show notes. So this one, basically you put the FlossTuber's name in, you put in their channel name, you put in the episode, you put in what they talked about, and then obviously you can tick it to say that, you know, you liked that one or you watched that one. But that one's great when you want to sort of refer back to what someone said, but you're busy sort of watching through loads of videos, so you don't want to just stop and go off on a tangent. It allows for me to just quickly jot something in there. So I have actually done some. I mean, what was it? Yeah, so Darling Bluebell was just contacted me and said about check Pinterest for colour conversions for the Celtic summer. And Alice in Stitches was saying about one of the projects that I was looking to do, the rose with the ribbon was actually a spider rose. But see, now things like that I would have completely forgotten by now. But because I actually got the messages in from them and then quickly jotted it in here, because this is about mine. But obviously there's other people's, you know, when they start talking about something, I'll put one in there for someone else. But this basically is just where people have responded with something that's super, super helpful for me on my own FlossTube. But I'm going to do exactly the same thing for when people are talking on their YouTubes and their FlossTube videos and something that they say, and I want to refer back to it at a later date. It reminds me, one, where I need to go, who said it, and what it was. So super, super helpful. It's fabulous stuff. I'm really, really impressed. It was easy to print out in the right sizes. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is thank you so much, Shazie C. You've spent so much time on this. Never being an organised person before or ever sort of having any type of planner or journal that I run from. Now that I've started this, and bearing in mind I started this, a couple of days after Christmas Day, so between Christmas Day and New Year, and I would say that I've pulled it out almost every day, and we're at the end of January, so totally loving it. Love the idea, love the concept of it. It keeps me on top of my game. It makes it so that I'm not forgetting stuff and missing stuff. And as for this monthly tracker, I've never tracked how many days I work on a project. Super, super, super good. And all for a bargain price. of the bundle pack, which most of these are in the bundle pack, of £10. I don't know what that equates to in euros or in dollars, but yeah, I think it's so worth the money. And it's a one-off payment, and it all turns up in as a download for you. You just download it to your computer and you print it. And you can just reprint and reprint and reprint, which is great. It's not something that you get it once and then you'd have to repurchase the whole thing again. So yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But thank you so much, Shazie C. Love it. Anyone that's interested to take a little look, she's got 2 Facebook groups. One is for existing customers and one is for new joiners. I will post the new joiners Facebook group around now or somewhere on the video, and again in the description box below, so that you can have a little look. If you're interested in more in-depth of the actual pages and you know what comes in each of the bundles, then Stitcherista done a product review on these, so I'll also link Stitcherista's product review. But I have to say, for me personally, I'm loving it. So there you go, short and sweet, and until next time, bye bye for now.